All right, you guys. Gonna go live. There we go. Says I'm live. So thanks for joining me again. 7 p.m. It's time for my final session of card project stuff here at my World Card Making Day video extravaganza that I've done. I'm Jill Blanchett, Green Thumb Stamper, and here we are. It's Christmas. I've got cards and a scrapbook page to show you this time around, and I think that's about it. Let's just get going. Ate dinner, flipped into Christmas mode. So let's go ho ho. Hey Julie, let me flip around. I'm going to show you the cards. Let me put some cards out here so you see what we're using. And then that'll give me a hot second. I think I figured out how to see my comments and stuff as they're rolling, which might be a little bit easier. So let me turn this down. Thing ready. All right, so you can see these cards now. Let's see. All right, now I'm live again. So, like I said before, I've never watched my, let me get some of these little lights off the screen. Never watched. There we go. Yay. Okay. Oh, yay. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. I think all I needed to kind of do was flip my iPad straight up and down. So these are the cards, you guys. I don't know if you've used Memories and More cards. I've done a couple classes with them before. Not really a big hit. I think most stampers don't find them stamptastic. So they're called Joyful Days, Memories and More cards. And you get, I think I got 6 of each card. So this, after making all of my cards and projects, these are all the cards that I have left over still. So, we could go ahead and make even more sets of what we got going on. So they got pre-printed on them. They're probably designed for the um, pocket scrapbooking or using on scrapbook pages. But here's a bunch of the different designs. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm not going to set them too far because I may need to rifle through them. I tried to pull all the cards out that we were going to need on each design. And, sometimes the best plans don't always work. Forgot my tea. Had to get something to drink. So, all right. So here we go. Here's the document that I put out there, showing you the cards and the scrapbook and the products that I use. And I did print the instructions, not instructions, the supply list that you need. So here's the other PDF that's in there. And I have all of the pieces that you need, the supplies that you need. Here's a product list. Some of it may not be around, like my Joyful Days stamp set. I don't know that that'll be around to purchase that silly stamp if I never find it. So we're going to start with our first card, which you will see that this is the one I was exhausted on. Oh, let's come down a little bit. All right, I think that should be good. This is the one I was exhausted. And this is the stamp I lost. Joyful Wishes. No idea where it is. All right, let's set that aside. We're going to use one of the, let's start here. We've got a 8.5 by, maybe I need to go out a little. I'm a little too close. I got an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of paper. Linda's on, Kathy, Dawn, Ann. Thanks everybody for letting me know you can see me and hear me too. I appreciate it. Appreciate you hopping on. We're going to fold that at 4 1/4, burnish on our fold because we've, all right. Then we're going to start with one of the big cards with the trees on it and the plaid on the back, and we're going to cut it 1.5 inches off. So we want a 1.5 inch strip by 5.5 to go across our card. All right. Set this guy out of the way. And like I said, this card probably could use a little more pizzazz, but I didn't want them all to kind of be over the top. Sometimes we like simple. And so I went with this one. So we're going to glue this strip onto the front. And you could also emboss this whole piece here, this piece, before we get going. But I thought I had enough other design going on that didn't really need to do that. Now, I showed my resident creative director. He'd have asked why there was no design on it, but I don't think I asked him. Probably if I would have asked him, I'd know where that stamp was. Because I finished using it and then I went to bed. All right. I'm going to use the little dot from a different stamp. Oh, I had it sitting out there again, you guys. I cleaned up and put stuff away, and I just need this one little tiny dot out of here. And I put it away. So we're going to grab this little dot. And that's the one, and this is from Christmas Wishes or Christmas Greenery. And I just, let me turn this little, I just wanted something to put in the background. So I used my old olive. And I just want to put these little groups of, I'll call them snowflakes, around in the back. So maybe we could use some more. Let's get the whole thing on, and then we could see maybe where we need some more. Fill that in a little bit. Then I took some cherry cobbler at about 4 by 2, and I ran it through this glass and garden embossing folder. It goes with the sips and something set. I embossed that, and then we're going to snip up where we see the middle. Flag that over. And then that's going to go on the front. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Doesn't matter which side of the paper you want up. They're both going to be equally as pretty. But we'll glue this down. And we'll just glue it part way down the card. Looks pretty even. Right here. Then, see, we've already covered up some of our little green things, so we can add some more. think it's going to be cuter with more of them on there. Let's get the rest down. So now I have a 3 1/4 by 2-inch piece of basic white, and I'm going to take a tag punch, and I'm just going to punch off the top. And this is the piece that I redid that I needed to use that stamp again. So you think it would have been where I put this down at, but nope. Mine doesn't like to cut that very tippy top piece. So we will take our scissors, give that a little trim right there. I don't think it's as long. It's not quite as long as my other one. So we're going to put that on there. So let's stamp. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. And then I did find another set, Magical Meadow, that had a Winter Wishes. It appeared to be about the same size as the one I wanted to use. Winter Wishes. Banners dies. Is what from the band? This piece, Dawn? I got nothing here from the Banners dies. I made that and then we just punched that. So we're just going to put Winter Wishes on there. You guys are would be proud of me. On the intermission, I went and cleaned up all my stuff. It's good as new in here. Then I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to pop this up a little bit in the back here on this one. Let's just see what we get. Hey, Vicki, thanks for hopping on. And Lori, you finally found me. I'm sorry. I was being difficult, maybe, without even realizing it. All right. Then I'm going to take one of these. I got the big card with this watercolory, southwesterny, whatever kind of look on it. Only because I had it left over. We do have a small card that could be used that has the same pattern and a little bit smaller. Actually, I think I would like it a little bit smaller. I don't like that the big as well. I like the little. So we're going to go ahead and use the little. And we need to cut this now. I can go this full width and we need it 1 inch wide. Card is 4. I'm going to move it down to 3. And again, I'm going to leave that on the end. Trim it here. We're going to just snip it and cut to it. I just can't believe how many cards I still had left over after I got done with this. So now we're going to pull it down. Or put it on here. And I'm going to pop it up. Pretty sure I popped it up. Yes, I popped it up on the ends. So let's trim one of these guys in half again. And put one on each end. And with these cards, like I said, you get so many of them that if you used your one sheet wonder kind of layout with it or something simple, the cards can then do the work, the rest of the work. Actually, you probably don't even need to use any type of a one sheet wonder. Just start layering them like this. They're cut out. I mean, you could take this and just trim it down, center that on there and trim it down on the sides, and you've got a card. Add some ribbon, add some bling, and you're kind of good to go. 4 quick and easy cards. So now we're going to go with that hole there. We're going to tie a bow. Don't need that big of a bow. And again, use the supplies that you have. This is so old. This is Lovely Lipstick ribbon. And it's a different color red, yes. But it goes, it flows. It does it works on there. With the variety of shades in this of the red, there's no reason that can't use it to do our bow making with. I'm going to put a glue dot up there. I'm going to give it a little roll. And then I'm going to stick my bow on it. Floof it a little bit. Get it where you want it. Winter Wishes we've got on that now. And I had another card here you could see with some little berries on it. And I just was nipping things off from cards that I had sitting around. So I'll just use this one because it's also an extra one, I do believe. We'll just cut a little thin strip off. Oh, that's really thin. I don't want that thin. And then we'll glue it onto the bottom of here just to keep jazzing it up. You're going to have so many pieces. You're going to run out of things to do with them all. You're going to be begging people to help you create ideas to use up all your cards. Have friends over and have them make card designs with you. See who can come up with the coolest card design. All right, so like I said, I'm just flanking these cards. Why don't we just use this? How about we use this piece? I don't like that piece. What about this piece? That's not thick enough. So we're going to leave the end of this one for now. Because I think I used the camouflage card. This one. I don't know. I'm not going to put anything on it. It needs something on the end. That's why I ended up blinging it up. But maybe I can put my bling on that. How about that? Bling on that piece instead of the big one. So we'll grab some of these. We need tinier probably than these. I think these are old paper pumpkin gems. That's why they're on this little tiny sheet. But again, we're using what we got with these projects today. There, we'll use them there instead. Just to jazz it up a little bit, give it a little extra. Let's see now, we could put some more little green blobs around on here. Go off the paper a little bit. All right, we'll call that good after I do a couple more. Gotta have the ones going off the side to. All right, we're gonna stop right there. So I think that actually kind of really made me like the card better now. The fact that I lost the stamp made me really not like the card at all. It angered me. I cannot believe it. And one day I'll stop whining about it, I promise. Until that day comes, I'm angered by the fact I lost it. So, does not look like, did I bring a, yes, I did bring a piece for the inside. Just going to put a piece of white on the inside. Probably didn't put anything on this guy. I did that on the break too. I went through and finished off the insides of those other cards. I trimmed off the the banner. I trimmed off the candy corn and that little fairy girl, and I trimmed up the flamingo. It's got that extra white off the edge that I had too much of on there, so we'll leave that one now. There. Joyful Wishes has just turned into plain old Winter Wishes, and still needs something, but it is done. There's our first card. This was a layout, what do we call those? Template layout that was online that I saw. And so that was my motivation on that one, for that being the first one. Now our second one, we're going to make this fun fold. Super duper simple. It's just basically one piece of paper. You're right, Dawn. It will always bother me. All right. It's one day. You know what? Maybe it's, no, I think I cut these after. I cut all my pieces after I made all the cards. So, card number 2. We're going to start with this 8.5 by 5.5 inch base. And we're going to score it. I wrote myself little notes here at 1 3/4. And 5/4. Oh Lord, that's not right. What did I just do? Yeah, I wrote myself a note, 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. That's the size I gotta cut it, not where my score lines go. Duh. Hold on, let me get another piece. All right, we'll try it again. Let's look at this then. We're gonna score at 2 and 3 1/8. 2. I got notes around here somewhere. 2, 3 1/8. Then I'm just gonna take my chance and turn it. And do it again at 2, 3 1/8. Now with this card, you can put something on this panel if you wanted. I just wasn't sure how many cards I was gonna use, if I was gonna have enough to do anything on that panel. You definitely are gonna have enough to do something on that panel. But as I make the cards, I put all these memories of more cards in piles. Then I take out one of each and I try and stick to just using one of each for my whole group, if not 2 of each. So that I knew if I was going to do a class, I could break it out into like 4 people could use the 1 pack of cards, if that makes sense. So, all right, now we're going to burnish on our folds. Oh, this one goes up. This one goes up. And this one goes in. All right. So now there's our unfold. On this, I have, this is where I said I had a, we'll use this card. We need it by 5 1/4. And it was 1 3/4 because that was a 2-inch. I'm gonna leave that white. I like that white on there. So we'll go 5 1/4. I'll cut that piece off. Then we need it by 1 3/4 because it's going to go into that 2-inch space. Now you do have enough cards as well if it bugs you that, you know, like the two sides don't really match. You can cut off the same piece of another card, so then these two pieces would match. See, like if I had to cut that, then that would be, it would match then. But I'm just using one card. So we're going to glue those into place. Gabby, you don't have to apologize for being late, girlfriend. Hopefully you're getting some good rest. I'm good at putting people to sleep with my voice. If I talk too long, I had to train people at work and stuff. They'd always be nodding off. So, you know, if you get the sudden urge to nap, it's me. But Debbie needs the rest, so. All right, we got those on the two sides. Like I said, we could put a piece here if we wanted to. But I think we're fine without it. So then I've got a piece of Secret C that's 2 inches because this here is 2 1/4. So this is 2 inches. And I'm just going to glue that right down to the center. Right here. Pop that right in the center. Am I zoomed in too far? Looks like I'm okay on the screen. All right. And then this time, we're going to use a full Joyful Days card. I thought that stuck out pretty good because this card's going to fold in like this. I thought that was a decent size to cover that. You can trim it down if you want, but I thought this time I would load it onto an old olive and just step it up just a smidge with a layer because I really like layers, but not everybody likes to do lots of cutting and layers. And so I cut this one down on the 1/8. Then we're going to go just up through the middle to glue it down. We're going to eyeball that up and down, side to side. I think we got to come just a smidge to the right. Okay, we're going to go there because it's feeling pretty stuck. And then I have some of these low profile sparkle dots. We could use the green, but those are kind of bright, so I went with the blue. And they are, you know, probably a little bit Too blue. Where's Tony? Can we ever have too blue, Tony? Too much blue? Let's put a couple on this side. And we're going to put a couple. I think my putty needs to be replaced. Put a few down here at the bottom. All right. That, my friends, is card number 2. Once you've figured out how you want to use the cards, they come together really fast. So that's number 2. You can put a panel back here to write on or stamp a greeting or something like that. And then it will just stand up like this. So there's card number 2. I've been working on a new folds for my barn quilt cards that I got done. And that'll be a whole nother. I might even have to do a video on that one. So here's number 3. That's what we're going to make. Oh, hi, Amanda. Bye, Amanda. Oh, Lindy slept through it. I was going to take a little nap, but yeah, I didn't. But see, I'll give you guys, whoever was on the Stampin' Up thing must have had a bad voice too. I put Julie to sleep and yeah, I got a soothing voice, right? So this one, we're going to use this card in different ways. And then we're going to use this one, which I think, didn't we just cut this one? I just cut this one for, so I did it right here. Oh, it's not long enough though. It's got to go the other direction. It's got to be. So we need another card. That was a waste of card. This guy, I have cherry cobbler at 5 1/4 by 4. And I've run it through my die cut machine with an old Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. And that's giving it this, I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. But that's given the little sky. And I'm going to put this really busy part, I think, over on the left. We're going to glue that down. We don't need this off for any particular reason. Nothing's going to go under it. Make sure I put the card on the right way. Oh, I forgot to fix that card in the first batch of cards where I did it upside down. All right, so we got our cherry cobbler embossed and glued on the front. We're going to cut this card down to, oh, let's look. I'm going to say it's 1.5 inches wide. That's what we're going with. Because at this point in the game, all the cards are up for grabs. I want to say we get 50 cards in this. That might have been the old cards. All right, then on this card, let me carefully give this a thought here. Thought I needed this piece. I know I need some of this. So we're going to cut off of over here. And we need this to be two inches wide by 3 inches long. And one of the other cards would work. Say like any of these would work with the greenery on them. But I got this deeper greenery. So we're going to cut 2 inches off the end And then I'm going to cut it down to 4, I believe is what I just said. Oh, 3. Cut it down to 3. So let's just see. I'm just going to slowly whack a little bit off at each end until I get a nice variety of the colors. Okay, so we'll glue this on over that. Then we need the cardigan, and we need a little piece that is 2 by 2 square. So if you have a punch, if you got a die you want to use, we're just going to cut this 2 until it lets loose. There we go. Because I have a feeling I need that cardigan. So because I just whacked off a little bit more than I wanted there, we'll put that one little corner up at the top. We're going to cover it up. So we're going to cover this like so. So you can't see that there's writing on it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Eyeball, top and bottom looks good. Then we're going to glue this guy off to the side. Strategically between the two and out till it looks like about the same amount on each side. Glue that down. And we got our little square. We'll glue into the center. And again, going to kind of eyeball the same distance on each side, top and bottom. Good. Perfect. All right. So now I've got the old Christmas paper from Traditions of Christmas. This is the paper that they're using in that class they're offering. This suite is what they're going to use. And we just need to whack off. I need a light. I guess I just need to whack off any one. And it's unfortunate this little corner. Where are the ones that I used? I used a light. Did I use a different paper? Oh, I think I colored that. I sure did color that. Because they're only pink. I want a small pink. So let's go with this one. Oh, it's got green. Oh, yep. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up what I did. Feels like I made these in my sleep. All right, we're just going to cut out this guy. And then I'm going to have to run over and find some markers. Actually, I'm just going to leave it. I'll go back and do it when we're done. Or just on the arm's length away, but what I did was I took my blends, and I'll show you on the sample, but I took my blends and I colored over these leaves so they're not blue, and I colored over this pink flower so that it was just a different shade of red. go. Cut, 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 cut. I should have done this. We got this square edge here. We're going to try and round that out so that it's not so obvious that that was the edge of the paper. And I did learn one time, if you see the pattern at the edge and you're using it, say it was back, I think, when we had some penguin paper and some of the Christmas paper last year, the design only was, I probably could have showed you with my Halloween paper, but at the top of the page, there's only like half of a design of something, a penguin or a snowflake or a reindeer or like this poinsettia. But if you get the same paper, it will pick up, like they cut it, you know? So page 1 is only half the image, but page 2, the other half of the image from the bottom of page 1 is at the top of page 2. So if you can cut it or, you know, die cut it, whatever, you can lay them down on your paper and have the seam, figure out a way to put this, the seam. If you're a really good cutter, then you don't have to worry about it, but otherwise you might be able to see the seam. But yeah, that helps give you a little more use to your paper. And you know, we need to use our paper. I'm a queen of hoarding right along with many, many, many others. We're all queens in very own kingdom. Queendom. Because God forbid I use all of one design and then I can't get it anymore. And then I'm stuck without it and I miss it and I need it. All right. So on my sample, like I said, I colored this, but I'm not going to go and rally up the blends again, but I colored these blues, green, and I colored the flower a light, I think that's light, like a light poppy parade, to blend that out. Or blend it in with the rest of the card, I guess I should say. So then I got that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gold thread that everybody loves so much in my life. I'm gonna wrap it up like 4 or 5 times. Let me get my seal out here. I'll make a couple marks on it. Oh, I'll bet, Julie. Let me see. I think I got, we won't do it, but we'll just see if it. Okay, so now I gotta like spread this out a little bit. I didn't even look to see where the die was going, or the die cut was going, which direction, because you know how it can look so beautiful when you lay it on there and spreads out nice. I don't have that knack. Mine looks strategically placed. So let's smoosh it down there now. Now it stay right up. Okay, I'll use 3 fingers. So fine you can't even feel it. And then I'll spread it out. So we're going to spread it out like this. There's an end. Pull this over here. It's got to be a good way to do this, and I just never learned it. So we're going to call that good. Well, this big guy, he needs to be reeled in a little bit. He's way down there too far. He's hanging out in Florida. All right, and so then I pop that up. So let's get a couple dimensionals on the back. Holding our string in place a little bit. And then I just came down into the corner area. And then we have a little tiny white strip on the bottom of the envelope. And we're going to use our old olive with my Joyful Flurry that I started out using. And we'll use Happy Christmas. My resident creative director does not like the word Happy Christmas or words, but I was trying to stick with just all of it coming from the one stamp set. Let me pull this way down. Oh, it's too high, too much extra on the bottom, so we'll pull it down more. There we go. That particular one is got more rubber at the bottom, so then I pop that up. More dimensionals. This was a good haul paper pumpkin to get this many dimensionals on this great big old sheet. We were talking about how nice it would be if they were always this big, but maybe with our new packaging, they'll start making them bigger. New packaging for the stamps and stuff. All right, so I'm just putting that on there. Hopefully that's on there straight. It's white inside, so I just left it. Oh, this one opens upward, so it doesn't again matter if it opens up or out. So that is our third card in that series. Let's see. We'll bring in our fourth card. Here's our fourth one. Now this one we've been used to seeing. This one is called triple layer stamping, typically. But since we're using the cards, no stamping. So I'm using the 11 by 4 1/4, but we're going to open this way. So that's an idea as well with a fold. Doesn't have to open like this. And I've got one of the trees, cards with the trees on it. So we're going to go ahead and trim this down to 5 1/4 because we want it to cover the front of our card. Five and a quarter. And then I'm going to show you here what I'm going to do, but I can't. We're going to cut this. So in the triple layer stamping world, you would stamp this card, you'd stamp your design. Then we're going to take these dies and we're going to cut it out. So I've got some of the deckled rectangles and we're going to cut them out. Let's see if I can find that tape again. Tape them into place. And so I'm going to go and cut these. I'll be right back. You didn't have to go far. But I do have to get all the right pieces and parts. All right. So we cut these out. Please don't rip my paper. Wall safe tape. Okay. So now we got our 3 pieces. And then we will adhere them to the card front. So we'll start with this one. This is our big base one. And then this is what what you do for the triple layer stamping. We're going to put down the biggest one that's going to take up our space. Am I getting it on there? Okay. Now the next one, we're going to layer on the same color as our base. So it's just, I went just a smidge bigger than the die. So this is like 4 1/4 by 2 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, and I'll show you the object here. Because you cut it out, we're going to fill the holes back in. And the design is going to just like keep going. So this would, butt right up against there, but since we're going to layer it, you just want to layer it so that the design keeps going like that. Oh, and that guy was crooked. My center guy. So we'll just layer everything or line it all kind of back up again so that it looks like everything just keeps flowing. Oh, but we're going to cut this, going to now glue this guy on. So maybe I'll redeem it by gluing it to its base layer. Here. And then we'll glue that onto the front. I don't know that you necessarily want to pop any of these up because they'll, you then would see the hole kind of underneath. But I think I can redeem my crooked cut there. Kind of. All right. So we got our triple layer. So it's triple layer stamping. And then I'm going to take one of these cards and I'm going to cut out the Merry Christmas carefully as she cuts off the letters. Because I think I used those. I think we will use them in another. All right. So now then we just want to trim this up. I don't want to go too crazy, but you could go crazy and sort of cut down inside here, but I'm not gonna. We're just gonna follow the contour somewhat. My eyes are going petty. And then I'll show you what else I did. We're gonna trim this around. Trim this around. Like this. Might be getting a little close. I guess not. These scissors feel like they're pulling. Might be time to get them sharpened. Well, I am using my Teflon scissors here. And I tend to try and use only these only for the glue and dimensional stuff. Let me cut this out here. The glue won't stick to these. and make them all gummy so that they don't want to open. So I should be using my Stampin' Up! Scissors. It's not Stampin' Up!, it's Stampin' Up!, but I should be using my Stampin' Up! Scissors. It was saying my stamping scissors and not my glue scissors. Didn't come out right. All right. Almost, girls. Almost. Did anybody watch the Stampin' Up! Crafting thing? Did you see anything that you liked? Learn anything new? I was cleaning up and doing some stuff. I did get on the last little bit. I didn't see who the guy was that I was listening to. He had an accent. It might have been, it was Jay Soriano or something, I think his name is. He does such beautiful job with his coloring. And I think he's a, what do we call this? Artisan stamper right now too. So it might have been him. All right, so now we got Merry Christmas, but you see we're missing part of the C. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this off. We're gonna take our I have my cherry cobbler marker out here. There it is. I'm gonna put a little tiny line of, I don't want that much. I'll put a little tiny line of cherry cobbler. We'll line that C up on there and glue it on. So put some glue on it. Just want to line up the part that's there to where I just drew that line. Give it a hot second to dry. And then we're just going to trim it off. Like it belongs there. And that didn't really trim down here. Let's trim that a little more. Give it a little bit of contour. And there we go. I gotta cut that bottom part off right there. That doesn't belong on there. And we probably need to bring our little marker back in just a smidge. And try and fix that. It looks better if you don't have to do this last little bit here of marker, if you can get it all done before you go to glue it on. So then we're going to pop this up right here in the front. See what we've got. Put another one here. What we got over here? Ooh, we got a little tiny part of an S. Let's see. I might have cut that too skinny to attach. Let's see. We'll put it on this long piece here. And we're just going to put that across the top. And get some of our red rhinestones and just start blinging it up. Give it a little bit of pizzazz. Razzmatazz. Put as many as your little heart desires on there. And there's our next card, all done. I did not pack, I don't know why, I didn't pack an inside for this guy either, but we're going to put a white, oh yes I did. Yes I did. We're going to put a white inside. And I didn't do the sample cards because I didn't know what all pieces I was going to have left, so I just kept going, and I figured I was going to go back. I don't know how many of all these cards we'll have left, but as we get pieces and parts, we'll just glue them on. Cut the smidge off that, and we'll just glue them on. Jazz up the inside a little bit. Okay. So there we go. Card number 4. I got one more card. Here's the 5th card. It's going to use cherry cobbler base, 8.5 by 5.5. Score blend or burnish at 4.25. I have the basic white that I have run through this traditional wreath 3D embossing folder. Oh, thanks, Dawn. And Linda, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was fun creating all the designs. Probably not, 10 hours in one day of showing them all to you, but could be something in my future to bring to you a little at a time. I'm just going to glue that down. And that embossing folder is so pretty. You can see how deep that embosses. And before I go to this one and say, oh, I don't have anything for the inside, let me glue that on because I do have a piece for the inside. Just not the piece to go across the decorative piece like this one. Let's put that one in there. Get a couple pieces off the desk. Kind of a little wide, but we'll use it. All right, so now we're using the card that says Christmas cheer. We're going to use one of the wreath cards, not this one, but this other one. I don't see it right here. That has, oh, this one. It's empty in the middle. And a strip of that card with this one that I thought I was going to use. I was going to definitely use it. So what we're going to do here, if you have an X-Acto knife, you want to use your pick tool, putty, or yeah, the accessories tools. We've got one that is a X-Acto knife. So I'm just going to set my blade down and push it up to, I'm just cutting the Christmas cheer out of the middle. So I'm putting the edge in my track of the white, or what appears to be, because I can't get right up to it. and we're cutting out this guy. So I'm making sure that the bottom line of that is in my track. And I'm putting the little line of the cutter right on the line that I cut and pushing up to the next one. So now we've got our words cut out of the middle. We can take this card and we're going to cut off a piece. It is 1 3/4 inches wide. So that's this card. We're going to cut 1 3/4 inches off. And that's going to go across here. Guess I can do that now. And we're going to come in about that far. Then this frame is going to come over that a little way. Well, maybe not. Maybe just a smidgy over it. I could try and move this over a little bit further to make it. All right, now this guy's going to glue on, and I'm just looking to kind of have the same amount of space on each side, but have this hang out over the green so that they're overlapped and it is apparent that they're overlapping. So I'm eyeballing top, bottom, here, will come a little bit more here. Glue that down. Now I've got a 3 by 1 3/4 piece of mossy meadow, and I'm just going to glue the Christmas cheer on top of that. I think I'm off the out of view, but okay. So we're going to glue the Christmas cheer on top of that, but on top of this now, we need a piece of this at 3 3/4 by 3/4. So let's bring it in. Let's go this way. We need 3/4 inch by 3 3/4. And then we'll adhere that right to the top in the center of the green piece, but over the top of the red, and it's a little bit shorter, so we'll space that in there. Then we got our Christmas cheer. We're going to pop that up. And I'm going to try and put all the dimensionals. Let's see, Christmas cheer. I'm going to take this guy up and move him down a little bit because I need space over here. So we'll shore it up really good on the back end and this front end. So now we're going to cover up our hole where we cut this out of. And then we're going to take that card, and I've used this for something else, so we're good. And I'm just going to rough chop it out of here. that. I think I'm going to try and trim this around a little bit so that it isn't quite so apparent that it ends there. And I think I'm going to end up chopping some of it off anyway, so I just trim it for now, best that I can to get it done, but not too crazy. So let's I really wanted this piece to be airy. That's why I don't think this is a piece that I used though. I think I used a different card because this has got too much close to the edge stuff, but it'll work. Let's use the one with the words in the middle. They both look the same, but they weren't. All right. Almost. I like Wednesdays better. I feel so bad having you guys watch me do all this stuff. Wednesdays, I do it all beforehand. I should have everything pieced. But it was World Card Making Day. People might have been watching that were looking for something to do, and listening while they did their own thing. All right, let's see what we got. So this is going to slide in here, like so. So we can cut off. I'm going to cut this guy down right here. And we got to cut off. We're going to come right here. And cut this branch off. Then we'll come here, cut this guy out. And I'm going to go right down to this, down on that one. Now that should slide in there and look pretty okay. A couple of the spots where it was straight across there that you can see, but now I'm going to put some, I guess I'll put dimensionals on the back of it and stick it up. And because we didn't put the dimensionals all the way down to this end here, it will slide in there. That's my, yeah. So we'll slide in there like that. We've got it hanging over. And then we're gonna put some of these gem things on it again. break up the. I'll just do 3 on it. And that's our final card, you guys. So that's card 5. Now let me, give me 1 second to move all this stuff out of the way while I bring in, I got all my pieces cut for my page. I want to make sure I have room on my table for them. All right, so I don't think I'm going to be able to zoom out to show you this, but maybe if you got the PDF, you've already seen it. So there's the main page that we're going to do. And then this one goes over next to it in your book. 2-page layout. And then I've got, so my daughter, Reed, my international creative director, she and I found this layout and asked her what she thought. And she said, oh, that looks cool. And then I said, but how can I do a second page? And she said, well, do this in a mini. And of course, my mini quilt block world that I hang out in came to mind. So that's what I did. So I got everything pretty much cut and ready to go. So we need 2 12x12 whites. And you need a 10x10 cherry cobbler. And I'm gonna eyeball this. Should go in 1 inch and up 1 inch. All right, we're going right there. Thanks for watching, Anne. Betty, appreciate it. All right, so then I've got a 6x6. It's going to go in the middle. And then we're going to use our various cards. So let me dig through my cards here. I don't have them out, so you're just going to take the cards. Over here, I've messed myself up, I bet. We need 1 of those. 1 of those. Actually, we need 2 of those. We don't have 2 of those anymore. That one. And we're going to have to improvise. Because I got card happy. We'll see what we get here. All right. So we're just going to cut these. All right, give me a second. I didn't. There are 3. I might have enough cards. Because the cards are 2 inches wide. So we're going to go 2 inches wide. And I'm going to leave them at 6 inches long. So we're going to leave this card as is. And we're going to cut it 2 inches wide. Which should give us 2 pieces. Then we're going to cut this one 2 inches wide. And because I wasn't paying attention when I made the sample on how I was cutting it, I ended up using the other side. So I'm just going to set this in the middle. Now, if I was good, I would have some grid marks. Not that good. But, well, I guess I can set these on here up against the edge, and then we know where to glue that. So how about we do that, so then we can use that to move forward. Got the shakes all of a sudden. Down here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this piece in. Just get it out of my way. And then I can use it as a little bit of a guide. All right. Perfect. No. Does it work for Jill? Yeah. All right. So now we're going to cut this in half, corner to corner. But this is where I got to make sure that I'm paying attention to which corner to corner I'm cutting, because they won't line up if I don't. So this one goes in the top, then this one will go in the bottom. What's the back of this card? I'm going to put these on the side because I want those lines to be my. All right. So let me cut this guy. Corner to corner. I put it in the channel and let's start part way in to help keep it from tearing. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy on. Oh, wait a second. Okay, that's good. I'm going to glue this guy on. I'll glue him up here at the top. I'm going to line it up with my green. We'll put this one at the bottom. Line it up with the green. Go across the red. Cherry cobbler. Then we need to cut the other card, this one, from this corner to this corner. Wait a second. I want this side up, so we're going to cut from this corner to this corner. That's where I messed it up on my sample. All right. I'll stick this down here, and then now this, ooh, that certainly doesn't line up. All right, I'm not gonna peel it off. It's supposed to line up, doesn't. It is what it is. And this one's gonna go down here. And then you can use these lines for journaling. And turn it. And we're going to glue this guy on. Try and be a little more careful with your glue because I'm getting it everywhere. All right. Put that one on. Put that one on. Oh, good. We got some green on this one. So now we're going to cut this one down. And we want this side up. So we want to cut from this corner to this corner. So trim that down. And with these cards, you can use any of the cards, you know, for whatever you want them to be. Each project can be different. As to who's ever liking whichever cards they like the best. Oh, I got that one weird too. Okay. It's a sample, right? It's a sample. You get it. You know what we're doing here. All right. So now I wanted this to be the top because of the little journaling pages. And so now I've just got three little photo blocks that are 2 3/4. The cherry cobbler's 2 3/4 inch square. And so me not being a scrapbooker, that might be a weird size. And I got one more somewhere. What happens when all my stuff dumps out? Let me get over here. That's for the next one. I think this plain. For whatever reason, I didn't glue this one on. So this would be like a 2.5 inch photo, I guess. Or you could layer a photo on top of the white. We're going to glue these three in place on the 6x6 here. And it worked out where it was about one design in on all of them. They make templates and all kinds of good stuff that you can use to make sure you're lined up right. A ruler would help too. But you know, eyeballing it's the way to go. Okay. And then my last one is just a red square that I ran through the plaid 3D embossing folder. And we're going to put that down here in the bottom. And then I cut out one of the cards with the tree on it, this one. And we're just going to pop that tree up in the center. More. Now this is very bare bones, so any scrapbookers would probably put some embellishments and all kinds of fun stuff, but it's just an idea with the cards. So there is our, let's see, can I lift it up? How's that work? There's the page. And then now we'll just hop over and do the second page. So again, we got a 12 by 12 white. I've got 3 photo mats that are 4 4 1/8-ish, 4 1/4, you could say. So I've got 3 of those. And those are going to go on there. But we're going to do 3 little mini blocks. And no worries, ladies. I got 2 of them done already. I'm just going to show you. I could do the 2 and then I can pretend to do the other one. What time is it? 8:30. So I'm going to glue these onto a mossy meadow layer. That's way out of range for cutting. Here's the second one. All right. So on our third one, we have a cherry cobbler piece that is, should be 3 by 3. And we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. This one I did do a little bit of kind of what I've learned from my friend Julie, the chirpy card maker. Give yourself some grids. All right. Oh, I needed to go more than 3/4 of an inch, didn't I? Why didn't somebody stop me? I got all. No, that was right. 3/4 of an inch. It looks bigger than that. Because I didn't go 3/4, did I? Who's watching and didn't tell me? Nope, I didn't go 3/4. But I think we'll be okay because it's all gonna. No, it won't get covered up. Oh well, you got to do 3/4. I went half. All right, so we'd go 3/4 of an inch all the way around. See if I can rub out my first one at all. All right, then I have a little square to go in the center. That's 1.5 inches of that same designer series paper. So we'll glue that right in the center between all those score lines. And then we are going to just chop up our cards. So we need 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And these I'm cutting by hand. So these will definitely not be. Okay. So those are just going to go like that. I got another one. And so that's how this little block will come together. All right. Then we'll find some more that we can put on there. So like all of these little scraps, we'll just cut them to 1.5 inches by 3/4. And we just keep building all the way around. So let's go 3/4 here. That's got a lot of green on it. 1.5 inches. Like that. We'll cut it in half. Corner to corner. Like so. And I'll build this. I'll build this last one and do it after. So then after we glue on all these pieces, so we just need one more, right? So I might as well just do one more. I'll just use this color. Right there. All right, so let's glue these on real quick. Now, if this is yours, it'll take more time. It'll look nicer. You'll look through the cards. You'll find a bunch of scrap pieces and just make a lot of fun cuts in there to fill these in. It's a little patchwork, using up all your scraps. Push that over a smidge. All right, so we got all of our little squares filled in here. And then I went and used that embossing folder, the giant plaid that is right here somewhere. I got the empty box, but not the folder. Okay, well, we're going to set it somewhere. I got the all right, let's play that thought. Yes, it was. So we're going to emboss that real fast in our plaid embossing folder. Just going to stuff it in there any old which way. And now it's done. So now we can glue it onto our green base. Also too big. And then let me see if I get this up high enough. So our blocks, then we're going to glue on 1, 2, 3. And I won't glue them on right now. I'll just show you what I'm going to do. Oh, I got to put my tree in the center of that one. I've got a Christmas tree I punched that I also ran through the embossing folder. We're going to pop that up in the center of our little block. And then these, I took one of the cards and mounted it on Mossy Meadow. That's going to go down here in the corner. We're going to have spacing all around, kind of equal edges. And then our photo mats, I was going to kind of do them a little kitty wampus, but I think just putting them like this is going to be good enough. And then I took another one of these cards. No, I took one of these. And I'm just going to do it real fast because just to show you. I'm going to go back and do this better, but I'll cut this out better. And then that's going to go right in here. I'll give it a little more frilly look. That'll go in there. I'll cut that off right here, actually. I don't like that last little one. And I just use scraps at this point. So if you've got another piece like this one you want to put over here somewhere, pull pull that out. Maybe up here, I don't know. Just saying maybe up like this, could something like that. And then I have a circle punch for this guy. It's a 2 3/8 inch circle punch on this card that was left over. See, we could also cut this out, but I'm going to use it here. And I'm going to squeeze every little bit of that I can get. And then that is going to pop up right there. So we'll move that out. So there. That's how that one's going to end up. I won't finish it. It's getting late. You guys have had enough of me today. I've had enough of me today. And honestly, I want to do this block again. Let's see if I can kind of fix this. So before I glue it all down. So that is the final look to this page. Let me lift up this a little bit. You can see, make you seasick. So that's the end of that. So that's the scrapbook page, you guys. And let me see, let's come back over here. I think we're good. I don't think, because I'm not going to do anything. I don't need to do any other flipping around with it. So that's it, you guys. You may be sorry, Dawn. Hopefully I inspired you guys with some different things that you might not be used to or thinking about doing, or whatever. I know that the scrapbook page, that's out of my wheelhouse for sure. I like how it came out. My original one, obviously, because I could putz and take my sweet old time doing it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's a long day, and yay, I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad you were here with me. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, message me. I'll see what I can do to answer. I will go back through the comments that you've had in the videos and answer any questions that I see in there. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great week. And I'll see you on Wednesday night. And I will be at Mom's, so I'll be live from the peanut butter cupboard. So I'll see you then. Good night, everybody.